real quick before this video even starts, I know people are going to complain about the camera angles or possibly the audio or anything like that. I don't have any fancy equipment, cameras, tripods, and stuff like that. This is on my iPhone. So let's get into the video. Alright, so as you can see here, this grass is completely overgrown on the sidewalk. That's not cut there. However, that right there is cut, and I'll explain that later as to why that is the way it is. But the reason why I wanted to make this video is because of Juggernaut Lawn Care. So I'll actually put this video that I'm about to explain in the description below so everybody can watch it. But he has his own lawn care company, and he sometimes goes out and cuts overgrown lawns to help people out. This particular video, he was talking about basically you don't know what everybody's story is. You don't know what they're going through. So instead of judging them off of their lawn that's not cut, you don't know what they're going through. And I wanted to see if that was something here, because I always drive past this house and I see it half cut sometimes, and I see it sometimes it's not cut for a long time. So, I don't know what goes on there. So actually I knocked on the lady's door and asked her basically like, hey, I've noticed that, sometimes your lawn is cut, sometimes it's not, sometimes it's half cut. Is there anything that I could do to help? Like, can I cut this patch in front for you and hopefully help you out? She was ecstatic, like, yeah, are you sure about this? Like, she was kind of confused. I said, yeah, absolutely. I found out that her husband is disabled. She's an older lady, so she can't handle the heat. Her son is autistic, and her daughter also has medical issues. Now, for the reason why half the grass is cut in half, it's not, is because her son is actually the one that cuts the grass, and she has to explain to him how to cut it, where to cut it, and sometimes he forgets, so he'll just stop in the middle of it and then be done thinking he's completed. So here's the crazy thing that happened during all this. You can see here that I'm talking to this gentleman. This is her neighbor, and he thought that I was a landscaper, and he was like, oh, they finally got a landscaper. I said, no. I just explained to him, I live down the street, I go past his house all the time, and I just wanted to see if there was something that I could do to help, like if there's something wrong. So I kind of explained her story to him just a little bit. I didn't want to really, give him too much detail and put all her information out there. I just told her, they have some issues and they have troubles getting the lawn done all the time. And he actually said, well, I've been leaving for 2 years. I've only talked to them a couple times, and I've been wanting to help them, but I just didn't want her getting offended thinking that I think I'm just sick of looking at her house like this and blah, 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 blah. So the craziest thing that happened is right here, me and him are talking about setting up a time where I can come back and me and him are going to finish the rest of her landscaping. Now, the front of her house is, there's weeds and like weeds about the size of the trees. It's all covered, vines all over and everything. So I just did here this sidewalk. I edged the sidewalk, got all that out of there, and then cut the grass to where I'm kind of standing right there. I cut that strip there. But you know what, guys? You really don't know anybody's story. You don't know what's going on in their lives. And this really opened up my eyes, I watched his video and I was inspired by it. I watched Juggernaut's video and I was inspired by it. And I was like, you know what? Yeah, maybe I shouldn't judge them and see if there was something I could do to help. And when I got done with this, and just this little strip that I did, she was, almost in tears. And like, thank you so much for just randomly coming here and helping me. And that made me feel awesome. But also knowing that I just inspired somebody else, this gentleman here, to come back and help her as well. I hope that I can keep doing that. I hope that I can keep inspiring other people to help out their neighbors. We don't really do that anymore. Everybody's worried about themselves, and we don't worry about people around us. And that sometimes, yeah, you have to worry about you and your family, but I just took an hour and a half out of my day that I wasn't going to do anything to help her out, and that made a big difference to her. And I know that when we come back and finish the rest of our house, maybe they won't be able to maintain it again. However, for that week that it's going to look good, they can pull into their driveway and be proud that that's their house instead of embarrassed because everything is going crazy. And that makes me feel great. And again, I really hope that this inspires others to help out their neighbors. Again, guys, I'm sorry that these camera angles suck. But good news for you, I guess, is you're not going to see this entire video because my phone overheated and stopped recording after a half hour. But I will have the walkthrough of when I was finished and also a photo, and it looks crazy different. It's funny because me and my kids walk down the street all the time. We walk around the block, and when they came around the corner, they were like, wow, they actually did something here. And I was like, no, this was the house I was telling you guys about. And they were like, wow, like they were amazed that it looked so different. I would say that the only thing that really sucked was I kind of felt bad at the end because I went back to her, knocked on her door to basically tell her, because I had a bunch of stuff, and you can see at the end of this video here that I have a pile of clippings and stuff, but my trash can got full, so I was going to run to my house real quick, dump it, and come back. But I also was telling her that, I spoke to your neighbor, and he said he's been wanting to help, and we're actually going to come back next week, and we're going to try to clean up your landscape even more. And like right above my head here, you can see this tree. I don't know if you can really see it from this angle that good, but if I was to walk straight through, I would actually hit my head on it because they're hanging low. So we're going to cut those down. But then after, she just kept thanking me, and then she was like, is there anything, can I give you money for gas that you use, can I do this, I was like, no, like I don't want anything, I just want to help you out, that's all. So I just kind of felt bad because it seemed like she felt bad that I did this work for her for free. But yeah, I didn't want anything from her, their happiness or their just being proud that this is their house, that made it better for me. And honestly, I would love to do this more. I just don't know how much I could really do. I do have responsibilities and bills and stuff, and I also don't even have a truck. I have a sedan and my wife has an SUV. I was actually using her car and made a mess of it, so I'm gonna have to clean that so she's not too mad at me. But I can't afford to do all this. I mean, it'd be awesome to get like a sponsor or something, or maybe if this YouTube channel blows up, that would be cool, that I could get paid from the videos and be able to do this, go around and help people out around my neighborhood. But then eventually get a truck and better equipment and go outside my neighborhood and help out as many people as I could. Man, we haven't had rain in, it's been a while. I think a couple weeks, but even the rain that we did have before then, it was very quick. So everything's just so dry. You can see all this dirt just flying up. Towards the end here, you'll see me put my shirt over my nose because I was just inhaling all of that. But there was so much there that I had to edge and then use the shovel to get all the cracks clean and then blow it off after. I know some people are gonna be like, well, why wouldn't you just cut it and then blow it after that? Well, again, there was so much, and it was kind of hard for me to see where the edges were too because of so much debris all over. But yeah, this was actually quite a lot of work, and all I did was just that little strip right there. But when me and her neighbor actually goes back over there, I know that's gonna be like a full day's worth of work. There's a lot to do, and actually let me know if you guys actually want to see a video of that. If I get a lot of responses back on this that people want to see it before I go do that work, I'll see if I can get like a GoPro or something to get better camera angles of everything. One thing I didn't think of doing for some reason is take a before photo. I got a before video, but I didn't take a before photo. That would have been nice to put side by side with the after video. And also, I actually record this. I was stupid and recorded this in portrait, so I know I'm gonna hear people talk about that, how I'm editing it. I'm trying to put it in landscape though, even though somebody's gonna call me out about it being in portrait. I know it. So here's when you start seeing me start piling up everything because my trash can is full. But I should have brought another one. I didn't think about it, but again, good thing is I lived right down the street, so I could just dump it in my backyard and then come back and fill it back up again. I filled it all the way to the top again. But yeah, you can see these big piles that I'm pulling out, and I mean that was just like the whole sidewalk was just like that. It was insane. I mean, it's been like that for a couple of years too. I'm sure I also might hear people talking about how I'm wearing a white t-shirt. Well, this one was already stained anyway, and I just figured having a lighter shirt would probably be better with the heat, because I mean I was sweating like a dog after this. It wasn't even that hot. It was probably like 89 degrees. I think the heat index was 93 or 94. But this week has actually been the coolest. Last week it was like 110, I think, with the heat index. So um, this was perfect. Now I'm kind of afraid for next week because it's supposed to go back up again. But here shortly you'll see me put my shirt over my nose. And also tell me if I'm just like talking too much in these videos. If you just want me to shut up and just watch the video, or you actually like hearing me talk through this. I know the videos that I watch, I'm cool with them talking through the whole thing. But I don't know how some people think. There I go. All that dust was everywhere. All right, so here's the final walkthrough of it. That's still the driveway that I'm gonna come back and do, but here's the sidewalk right here. It's way better, way better. I'm actually thinking about coming back and pressure washing the sidewalk as well to clean it up. Um, Hopefully that, because you can see here, here's the neighbor's side that's pretty clean. Yep, so there's the pile. And then also look at the driveway here. That's the stuff that I want to clean up next week as well. And then here's the photo. So again, guys, don't judge anybody off their lawn. You don't know what they're going through. Maybe you can take some time out of your day and try to help them.